continuing on with that a little bit, Chicago hip-hop culture, from just stepping back from a holistic view, every aspect of it. What are your thoughts on where it currently is?
That's a good question, man. I think hip-hop culture is, I think it's in a very good place with, you know, like I mentioned, Save Money. Those guys practice all different forms, and now it even is like there's a little kid in the crew that has the video camera, and there's the graphic artist and stuff. I think the biggest problem with it, and a reason that even turns me off from, as an adult, continuing to stay in the kind of activism area of hip-hop, is that it's very closed off to new people. It's very strict. Instead of welcoming people in and saying, like, it's okay for you to be new and be, you know, and learn as you go, it's like they expect everyone to come in and be this kind of way, and that really turns people off. You know, I get turned off from it. So I think that the people that really are stressing hip-hop culture, at the same time, they're always condemning too much. They're condemning new kids for just being young and not knowing. How can you condemn someone for not knowing history if you don't, instead of teaching them, you're condemning them for not knowing? That's not going to make someone go and learn about it. I see a lot of elders getting mad, but it's like they should more be mad at themselves for not making it a warm and welcoming environment, for not nurturing people that want to know instead of making them feel bad for being ignorant on stuff. That's kind of where I see it, but I also see it as a vibrant, thriving thing in our city and in cities across the country. The fact that there could be a hip-hop congress or a community of people in Bloomington, Indiana, doing food drives and MC battles and bringing people like this film director Kevin Fitzgerald to screen his movie called The Art of Rhyme in Bloomington, Indiana. I mean, that's a powerful thing. That shows how well it's doing. But you know, I think there's no true leadership, and I think it's kind of like it can be a polarizing place, if that makes sense.
So, latest endeavor, Closed Sessions, worked with numerous artists, artists locally known, Alex Wiley, Caleb, Chance the Rapper, now on a local level, Action, Currency, all types, Raekwon, all levels of artists. What drove you and Mr. Mike Kolar to start Closed Sessions?
Well, I think the impetus behind Closed Sessions is just the natural next step of like the whole covering it from the inside out, creating, being a part of the culture, contributing back to it, and just like I fell in love with music through the story of it, through the liner notes, and that's what we want to bring back. And then that was where we started with stuff with Currency and Action Bronson and all that. That bringing in the outside artists was something cool, something that also used to bring light to Chicago, bring these artists that people have heard of in the scene but have never been here, bring them here for the first time, put them in front of an audience and create an experience that is not going to happen again. And then the studio Closed Session song is another part of that. Locally now, we want to be the indie Chicago hip-hop label that the city deserves. I think right now artists are faced with stay in Chicago and struggle mentality, or leave Chicago and get big and go to a label and, you know, all that. There's no in-between. Closed Sessions is like this in-between where we can serve as an incubator to help artists. If your goal is to make it to a major label, dope. I'm not going to sway anyone from that if that's their thing. But I think it's about providing an option of staying here, working in this space at Soundscape Studio, the best studio in the city, maybe the best studio in the country. With me and Mike, we know what we're doing, we have a passion. I don't think anyone understands Chicago hip-hop music more than people in Chicago. You know, we can't allow New York and LA and these big labels just come in the city and just snatch people up and then have them sit on a shelf. There are artists that signed record deals out of Chicago in the last couple years that are on their 5th release since signing a record deal, and it's the 5th release that's out for free as a mixtape. Or they have to go and take a shitty deal because they have no leverage. Closed Sessions wants to be that incubator, something that allows artists to create the art on their terms, put it out in a way that's actually going to be able to make them money and empower them and keep going, and then also like give Chicago hip-hop like a reference point the same way rock is when you think of indie hip-hop in New York in the 90s, like boom, that's the spot. You can go and like for history you can go and look at that. And same with Stone's Throw. Even Minneapolis and Pittsburgh have these labels that you can think of. Chicago doesn't have that, and that was the whole feeling behind it.
So what do you think is the most difficult part about running an independent label?
I think the most difficult part is just not having the resources and money to do everything that we want. Having such a small staff of just me and Mike is difficult. Navigating all these things without the power of a major label, and then also getting artists to actually sign with us. It's, you know, I've learned that people are down to commit when everything's free, but when we introduce some of these artists, like, okay, well now we want you, we're going to do all these things for you. We want to sell the music and try to make some of the money back for the investment. I think that scares some people, but you know, the artists that have gotten behind us, like Alex Wiley, like Show You Suck, like A. Villa's producer, like a Vic Mensa, and the list can go on. It's like that's who is our lifeblood, and that's what's so dope about it. But the hardest part is like we want to work with these talented artists, but we're not able to come in and offer, here's a $50,000 cash advance, here you go, let's do stuff. What we are able to offer is a great studio, creative freedom, the freedom to record a song today, release it tomorrow, our passion, us knowing the music, and our genuineness that these major labels can't offer at all.
So what are the, without revealing behind the curtain too much, man, what are some future plans for Closed Sessions?
Well, we want to get back to, on one angle we're going to do, continue the Closed Session live. We're having our next one August 24th with Evidence of Dilated People. Gifts is opening up, and the Whoever's are opening up for him. And you know, starting another documentary series of that angle of Closed Session stuff, and we have some cool things in the works. But what we really want to do is start bringing in new artists and making music here. We have a project with Show You Suck coming up. We just released Alex Wiley's debut album, Club Wiley. We're going to start working on his second project. We've just released Trees, Sunday School 2. We're going to do some stuff with Mike Terror, hopefully the Save Money Cats. We're doing some things with Vic Mensa. And really we just want Chicago hip-hop artists to, you know, see us as the logical place to go and have people come through, and you know, that's really it in a nutshell, is make great music and offer an artist that jump from like releasing free projects to slowly putting out and make that transition. And if the goal is to make a major label one day, great, we're going to give you the best project of your career, so you're going to take that and have leverage, and when a major label comes you can tell them like, I did all this with Closed Sessions, so what do you have to offer me? And if you want to maintain independence and stay in Chicago and create in a place like this, that's what we're about as well. So yeah, that's in a nutshell, I guess, without revealing too much crazy stuff.
Thank you very much for allowing this interview. I know it took a little bit of time. Thank you. Any closing words? Any advice for people, you know, inspiring to get into the industry? I
think in closing, I just want to thank you for feeling deserving of an interview, I think that's a great thing, and one of the things that can serve as a motivation even for me. I want to thank anyone watching or people that feel I have valuable info to share, and I want to share it, and I want people to think of me as someone that is a resource in the city. So thank you for allowing that to happen. I guess I think once young people realize there is no key advice or key thing that's there's no golden ticket in music. Music doesn't, it's funny, like we keep saying the music business, but music and business are two way different things. You can't commercialize art in the same way you can commercialize and make other kind of products. So you got to get in where you fit in, and the biggest thing to making a mark is, people are going to remember your name and how you treated them more so than anything else. And that's, I think, a key to success and a key to like leaving something that lasts. Like, what is the quality of work you do, and how do you treat people? And if I could have young people realize anything, like those are the most important facets, at least for me.